In this third part of the interview with Yael Eini, we will talk about the beginning of the very method of Karmic Constellations. How is it similar and different from family constellations? What is it? What's representation? And how to know if your case is good for Karmic Constellations.
How did you end up shaping the method? Because you started with soul representation after learning this technique from family constellations and realizing that you and soul could have different perspectives. What's next? Because it's still a long gap. And have you ever doubted that, like, this is what you're supposed to do, this is the right thing to explore? Or maybe for others, you can also shine the light of, like, what was pushing you in that direction, what was prompting you to go there and keep doing it?
Curiosity. I love to explore. So what developed Karmic Constellation? I wasn't aiming to develop any method. I was really okay with just teaching family constellation. I loved and I still love this method, but I wanted to explore more. So I established a project. It's an ongoing project still after 8.5 years. I started with the Constellation Lab, the Systemic Lab, and now it's the Spiritual Exploration Lab. And that was a place that I allow myself to say, let's explore. This thing is interesting me. I wanted to know, can we represent it or not? Like a few years ago, I was like, the Ho'oponopono. Instead of just saying, thank you, forgive me, I love you. What happens if we bring representation? Will it be different? Will it be the same? Will it change anything? And I actually took Yulen meditation, and I brought all the elements from the meditation to representational work. And I found out that I rather do family constellation and do for myself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It works, but you don't need to represent the Ho'oponopono. But that was a way of exploring. Now I know more about the Ho'oponopono and also about constellation. But it can be anything. I'm reading about the temple between life. I read about it in a book. And I was so curious, like, can we represent the temple between life, the temple of healing between life? And so I do a lab. And in the lab, we bring an object to represent the temple between life. We stand on it and we see what comes up. And then, like, you can have so many insights. Sometimes it will be something that you stand and you say, you cannot represent it. I stand on it and it's just a piece of paper. But sometimes you stand on it and it's like mind-blowing. Oh, I have all this insight and I see the field different and this information I get and all kinds of stuff. And I love exploring. First, for me, the exploration is just the fun of the exploration. And then it's about you learn, you get so much insight just from exploring. And this is how actually Karmic Constellation has begun and still developing, because let's say the temple between life, I start exploring it and I figure out there are so many things to explore more and more and more. So I did more and more labs regarding that. And now I teach it. Things like the 24th chromosome, like the council between life that I explore, and I say, wow, this I can teach. So it's like I always develop, the field is always developing.
How would you present Karmic Constellations to somebody who even doesn't know maybe what constellation is, had never heard about family or Karmic constellations? Would you be able to briefly describe how does it work? What's the mystery about it? And maybe then name those topics that you currently teach and see as a part of your teachings included into Karmic Constellations.
Family and Karmic Constellation, I will start by saying that today they are very different. They are not the same. There are many things in family constellation that don't apply in Karmic Constellation. But the similarity is with first representing. What does it mean, representing? You take an object, it can be a paper, it can be this shell, okay? It can be anything. And you say, this represents an element from my life. But this can also represent an element from my past life. So let's say this can be past life me, and this actually can be a soul lesson. And when you represent, you put your hand on it and you become what you represent. So it's not about what is Yael think about this or knows about this. It's about it's like I am putting Yael aside and I'm becoming, let's say this is past life me, I am becoming past life me. And the art of representing is about sensations and feelings and emotions. So it's not about channeling what comes to your mind. It's about what happens in your body. What do you feel and sense right now? Like stomach ache. I can breathe. I cannot breathe. I'm still. I'm in anxiety. Really like bodily sensations or feelings, emotions. And only then can come visions, but they're not necessarily in the session. So the first is about representing, and one can represent for himself his entire past life. But you can also do it a group work, which means we bring people and they represent for you. They become your past life. They become your soul contract or soul lesson. And they tell you, again, not what they think or channel. I don't care about those. What are they feeling and sensing within them? So, and this is how Karmic Constellation work. We are tapping into the field. And in the soul realm, there is no past, present, and future. Everything is here and now. So we can bring an object, and this object will bring the essence of what we as humans call past. And then you can represent, and the information comes. And as I said in the beginning, it is a past life regression therapy, but without the regression. You don't close your eyes. You don't go to a deep state of meditation. You're, in a way, you're completely in control. And this is how it works. And the field show itself. So let's say you come and say, I feel I'm cursed because whatever I'm doing, I can't succeed to earn money. Okay, so I'm not starting by the curse. I'm starting by putting representation to you, to your soul, and to money. And see the relationship between you, money, and soul. How do you react to money? How does the soul react to money? And you might look at money and say, wow, I really love it. I want to grab it. But the soul might say, I can't stand it. Like, I'm all spiritual. I'm not here for the money work. And then we understand that there is something in the soul learning regarding money. Might be a curse, but not necessarily. So we want to work on that. What happened in previous lives and why did the soul choose to come and learn about money, which is actually one of my favorite topics. Why did the soul come to learn about money? What happened in previous lifetime that brought her? So we bring previous lifetime. We might bring the Akashic records and ask how many lifetimes she dealt with not having money, or how many lifetimes she was very spiritual and didn't deal with money. Like we see what comes up in the field and we go with what happens in the field, not with what the client come, because our perspective as human is very limited. We are struggling with money, so we feel cursed. But if our soul have issues with money, if she come to learn all kinds of things, she might be the one that will draw money back from us. So we want to work on the soul level to change whatever there is there, in order that when the soul looks at money, she said, okay, now it's okay for the human to receive money. So it's very organic from what comes up in the field. And it's not me channeling for the client. It's the client in his field, step by step, the field revealed to him.
From your experience, can absolutely everybody tap into the field and not channel, but start sensing and feeling and receiving all this relevant information? Is it really hard or easy, or what do you do when somebody is absolutely materialistic, skeptical, and stuck and just looks at you? What do you want? I feel nothing, just curious.
Yeah, first, absolutely for everyone, no. This method, like all methods, are not absolutely for everyone. You don't have to be a spiritual person in order. I will say that sometimes when really spiritual people comes, they are stuck because they're used to channel. They used to have knowing. And I don't care about the knowing. I actually care about sensing. And that's hard for them. And when someone comes, and might be hard for him to connect to sensations, so it's not the right method to them. I don't force anyone. Sometimes maybe I'll go and stand for them, help them to tune in. Sometimes we might bring representation to what keep them not connecting to the field. And many times it's about just understanding the art of representing. So the more you do it, so a session takes time. It's not an hour session. And the more you represent, the more you tune into representing. Like I just had a client that it took him an hour to release his brain and just represent. And then suddenly, like he was more open and he even start crying and he say, I never cry. And like I just asked him one question and he was like, and he said, I don't even know where it came from. But like he was, after an hour doing the session, he got lost of this, like the cognitive mind trying to understand and analyze everything just to the representing. And yet I will say it's not for everyone.
I want really to ask the question, how would someone know that his case is a good case for karmic constellation? Is there any way we can run self-diagnostics to see if this is related to past lives?
Sometimes people come to me and say, this is past life, and then it's family. Sometimes people come and say it's family, and then it's past life. If you tried a lot of stuff and nothing moves, like I'll go back to money. You did lots of work about money and energy work and all kinds of, maybe even family constellation, and still you're in the same place, then there is something karmically that denies you from doing the movement forward. So then karmic constellation is great for you. Many people comes to me either because they tried a lot of things and nothing moves, or they feel that that might be karmic. Again, I'm open. Many times I tell my client, are we open to whatever comes? And they say yes. Like I had this client a few days ago. She said, like, she's 60 something, and she said, I still don't know what I'm going to be when I be grown up. I'm lacking my passion to do stuff. So we brought representation to her, to the soul, to passion, to the lack of passion. And we said we are open, whether it's karmic or family. And the first thing that came, it was soul fragments. Like 5 minutes to the session, it was soul fragments. So we work on soul fragments and then see what comes up. And then actually it became family, but it was really a combination of both. And she came to me after she was really feeling stuck in this lack of passion of what is she's going to do in the rest of her life. So like stuckness is a great buzzword, but also if you feel it's not from here, you're carrying on something that it's not yours and it's time to let go. So it's probably karmic.